What's up, y'all? It's your girl Amanda, and we are back with another episode of Thompson and Stuff. So this is my second try of recording this podcast, this episode, I should say. For advice, please don't have a high-protein meal before recording. And two, always make sure that the mucus and snot and boogies are out of your nose and throat. Thank you. So we're back with another episode. Today is Sunday. It's early for me. It's crazy because now with this new schedule, on my days off, I am up earlier than normal. Well, this morning specifically. I had a lot to do today. I had to get gas for my car. I had to eat a full protein meal so I can take my meds. And after all this, I have to do my laundry, which is hella laundry. So yeah, that's why I had the high protein meal, so I could like have something stick to my guts, and that way I could take my meds too. So yeah, that is what's today's agenda. Of course, Sundays is reset day for everybody. So I also want to let you guys know that I am also recording the Bad Boys 4 review episode today. I did go see it finally. It came out June 7th, so I think what movies do is they stay in theaters like 4 to 8 weeks. So I was kind of almost at that 4-week mark. Went to go see it on 4th of July, which was awesome. It was my day off, so I enjoyed that. Of course, AMC theaters for life. I'm an AMC girl. Got the AMC app on my phone. But we'll talk more about that on the Bad Boys for Life review. And I also want to send an apology. I was listening to older episodes just so I can like mentally kind of prepare, not mentally prepare in a bad way, but kind of like, you know, correct my mistakes and what I do in recording from old episodes. I do want to apologize if you listened to the last episode. It was a lot of noise. I know better now. I have my computer on a charger. I have my mic hooked up. It's on a table. I have my drink. Now I know this is my second time. I drank most of my drink, so and normally I always have something to drink so you can hear my tumbler. What am I drinking? I am drinking Gatorade, but it's not from out the bottle like you go to the store and you buy the Gatorade. It's the powder. You put it in water. It's sugar free. I drink that all the time as well as the Propel. The Propels are good, but when I went to Walmart, I just grabbed the powder for the Gatorade. But next time I go, I'll grab the Propel too because that's really good. Lemon, orange, strawberry, kiwi, and blood orange. The best. So if I don't tell you something right on this podcast, I tell you go grab some Propel powder because it's so good. And much healthier than like juice and stuff. And then I had a couple people ask me, hey, what's the update with your dad? Are you guys talking? And honestly, there is no update with that. My dad has not reached out to me. I've been so busy, so I haven't really reached out to my dad. So, yeah, that situation is at a standstill. And the last thing I'm going to say about that is that I stand on what I say. I stand on business. So I'm not taking back what I said, and I'm not backing down from what I said. So there's that. But let's get into it. A lot has happened. I am going to get into the the politics and stuff. I know everybody wants me to get into the politics. I am, don't worry. But since I do start with older stories, because I do drop once a month, I do always start with the older stories, and I work my way down the list in my little notebook. So the first story I have is that Arby's is filing for bankruptcy, which I completely understand. I don't like Arby's like that. I went to Arby's like a few months ago. Me and my boyfriend, we went to Arby's, and he had like the chicken sandwich something. He had like some sort of chicken sandwich. Now, I always thought Arby's had like strictly sandwiches. We used to eat at Arby's, my brother and I, as kids with our dad, but that was like 20 years ago. And then I grew up in a neighborhood where there was no Arby's. Like, there was an Arby's, but we never went to it. And then it turned into like a car title loan place. And that's an indicator you know you from the hood. But yeah, it turned into a car auto title place, and we never really went there. And going off, I guess, what I saw when I was a little kid, my dad taking us, I thought it was strictly sandwiches. But I guess they decided to revamp the menus and stuff. They added on chicken strips and all that extra stuff. I mean, the chicken strips weren't bad. They had like honey mustard and stuff, but nobody really goes to Arby's. I don't expect Arby's to be like that one restaurant where it's like packed like at night. Like you would think like a McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's. Like those drive-thrus be packed at certain times of night. But if you go to like Arby's, like they look normal. Like they're probably waiting on somebody to come in. So I'm not surprised that that's going on. I'm not sure which level of bankruptcy. It could be either liquidate everything, shut it down, or it could be protect the assets. That's the only difference. I know I'm not really good with bankruptcy. So, but if it is liquidate everything and shut it down, I wouldn't be surprised because the food is not that great. Nobody really goes there. But since Arby's is shutting down, they are bringing Jack in the Box to Chicago, which I am kind of excited about. Jack in the Box, I think, is like more of a West Coast situation like In-N-Out. And In-N-Out is not that good either, by the way. So, my California people, I'm sorry. I'm a Midwest girl. I love my Culver's to death. So, Team Culver's it is. But yeah, they're bringing Jack in the Box to Chicago. And the only thing I really know about Jack in the Box is the commercials. So, Jack, their mascot, is like he has a human body. He wears a suit, and then his head is like a snowball head with the clown makeup on it, and he has a little hat. He used to do commercials with like Snoop Dogg and Ice Cube, and the commercials would like advertise their special boxes. Like Snoop Dogg had the $5 high box or something, like Munchie box. I'm sorry, and then Ice Cube had this other box where like you get a sandwich, fries, a taco, some sort of like cinnamon twist like Taco Bell in a drink. But I can't wait to try that because, West Coast rap is my thing, and I support anything any West Coast rapper is doing, within reason, of course. But I can't wait to try it. I thought I did try it in Mississippi, but they never had Jack in the Box. They only had this thing called Jack's, and I don't know if that's the same thing. But yeah, I can't wait to try that. Big Lots is closing stores. They're closing 3 stores here in Illinois. They're closing it in areas I've never been to, really. They're in Will County. I practically grew up part-time in Will County, but they're in like cities I've never heard of, like Crest Hill. I've been to Lockport. My stepmom's from Lockport, so they're closing that one too. So let me take my statement back. But I'm not surprised that they're closing Big Lots, but I think they should revamp their brand to like a furniture store because they have really, really great furniture. We had a kitchen table from Big Lots. We have 2 kitchen tables. We have one in our kitchen right now, and then another one. We had another one. It's in our garage currently. It's still in great shape. They make really, really good furniture. They're not make, but they have really good furniture. But it's just everything else. I just don't understand. Every time I go in there, it's very cluttered. And like I don't trust their snacks because some of them do look expired. So I think they should revamp it to a furniture store, and they would do really, really well because of course their furniture is really great quality. My brother has a couch from there, and he's had it for like 2 years. And you would think Big Lots, a discount store, that couch would fall apart in like 6 months. No, every time I go over his house and the couch is there, it's in great shape. Like it's really good. So yeah, these stores closing, I think that does have something to do with like the economy. But not only that, but it's stores that like they're not like the major stores, like a Target, Walmart, Home Goods, TJ Maxx, Marshalls. Those are the big doing well stores. Big Lots, Arby's, those are the stores that are just there but nobody cares to go to. So I think that going forward, the economy going forward, the only ones that are going to succeed is the big companies, in my opinion. Let's see. Ray J's behavior is spiraling. I think Ray J needs mental help. If you guys remember, I talked about the Shannon Sharp interview where it was like disturbing and stuff. Now, this guy was at the BET Awards, and if you guys asked, no, I did not really watch the BET Awards. I stopped watching the BET Awards a couple years ago. Like, I don't see what good in that is in it for me. I know DJ Quick performed on the pre-show. I only know that because my cousin texted me and told me, but I didn't watch everything else. I didn't have, the intent to. But Ray J was at the BET Awards trying to fight people, basically. I think Ray J needs to just hide out. And I don't think he lives in LA anymore, so he's taking a step in the right direction. I think he lives in Miami, I think. Yeah, so he's taking the right direction to stay out of LA. But when he was in LA for BET Awards, he was trying to fight people. He was going off on social media. You know, I think, you know, as we get older and you see like these celebrities have a meltdown, my conclusion to that is, like, I don't think Hollywood is really for everybody, and he's only in it because his sister is Brandy, who's like one of the best singers of our time. But I don't think Hollywood was for him, or it was for him at one point, and then it just kind of went downhill from here. I think he should just step away and just be a businessman. Like, I know he owns Scooty Bikes. I think he still owns Scooty Bikes, and then he also has his own like network and stuff. I think he should step back, focus on that stuff from behind the scenes, like Lemuel. Like, sometimes why did I mention his name? And dude was trying to fight Ray J. That was so messy on me. Oh my gosh. But you know how we don't, in my opinion, because I don't watch Zeus Network, but I don't really be seeing Lemuel in people's faces like that. I mean, of course, he's done like a couple interviews here and there, but he's not like every day, hey, look at me, I'm Lemuel, blah, blah, blah. So he should go that route so he can have peace of mind where he doesn't have to be in people's faces all the time. And also, he is going through a divorce, so of course divorce can be very stressful on one's part, man or woman, whatever. So I think just step back, Ray J. Step back, and maybe things could be just a little bit more clear for you. And focus on raising your children, and focus on having a positive co-parenting relationship with your ex-wife, because they are getting a divorce again, apparently. I don't understand why she married him, and he pushed her in the pool. But that's none of my business, though. Let me take a sip of my drink. It's another thing about doing a podcast. A lot of mucus and stuff builds up inside of you. I don't know what the deal with that is, but that's my deal. That's why I had to, this is my second time recording. And the last recording, I hit 11:45, but now I'm at 12:30, so I guess I'm on the right path. I guess. TGIF, the show on Fox Soul, is officially canceled. So Claudia Jordan, she released a statement. Basically, I'm paraphrasing, it was a wonderful ride, but TGIF is not returning for the 2024-2025 year, whatever. A lot of things has caused this. One, yes, the drama between Claudia and Al, that started it. Two, and this is my reason for stopping to watch the show, when Funky Dineva left. I love Funky, and he made that show. He was so funny, saying, "Go on to the next thing, Claudia. Go on to the next thing." He made that show, and then I was thinking it for a long time. The TGIF hasn't been the same since Funky left. TGIF has been the same since Funky left. And there's a lot of other people online saying the same thing I was thinking, which is crazy. And then they brought Armand onto the show. And, Armand is one of the new YouTubers. I'm from that era where we watched the original YouTubers and where they are now. And they have big money and they have nice houses. I've never heard of Armand until they replaced him on TGIF. I still don't know who that is. Not familiar with him. I mean, nothing against him. I just don't know who you are. But yeah, TGIF was Funky's show. That was his time to shine. And of course, they changed it from 2 times a week to 5 times a week. And I think that drained Funky. And that's another reason why he left. But yeah, I think it was going downhill. I didn't even bother to watch the show. I used to be subscribed on YouTube, but also they had their own platform on Apple Podcasts. So if I couldn't watch on YouTube, there it is, an Apple Podcast, and I could just listen to it on my phone. But after Funky left, I just unsubscribed from everything, and now Fox Soul has to scramble. I haven't even seen Fox Soul pop up on my algorithm on YouTube on TV. So I don't know what they're going to do. And I hope they do something where they can give newer voices, because, you know, Fox Soul is not a cable channel. Fox Soul is on YouTube, or it has its own app. So I don't know much about TV budgeting, but I think that should be a great opportunity for someone to give their voice, like have a talk show, not based on celebrity, because of course we have enough black shows centered around celebrity on TV. Let them talk about health. Let them talk about other stuff. So we'll see how Fox Soul kind of recover from this, quote unquote. I'm still so proud of Funky though, because he's still killing it on YouTube. He does his church service, air quotes, from Monday through Thursday, and you know, he lives his life on weekends, as anybody should who has a business. So so good luck to y'all over there at Fox Soul. I send y'all a salute. Jamie Foxx has finally kind of, sort of, but not really opened up about what happened to him. So there's this video. It looked like Jamie was in Miami somewhere, or he was in Chicago. I don't know, but he was not in LA. It didn't look like LA to me. And he opened up about what happened. He said he asked his friend for an aspirin and then he blacked out. I saw that video on TikTok, and of course, like, here comes all the conspiracy theorists and stuff. Oh, it was the vaccine and blah, blah, blah. I think he had a stroke, and strokes come in different forms, in a way. So he probably had a stroke, or, and I don't want to say aneurysm. That's not a good one. So probably a stroke. And when people were describing, you know, they had tubes in them and stuff, it kind of brought me back to my auntie. My auntie had a stroke, and she was in the hospital. She had, like, tubes and stuff in her face, and so it was probably a stroke. And, you know, honestly, Jamie does not really have to talk about what happened, because sometimes strokes can be traumatizing, not only for the person who suffered the stroke, but also for the loved ones, because sometimes I still do think about when my auntie had her stroke and how she looked in the hospital bed. So, you know, I think Jamie didn't have to open up about what really happened to him, but with the information that was provided, he was talking to a group of fans, so they didn't. I don't remember them asking a lot of questions, but he just said what he said. You know, he asked for aspirin, he blacked out. There's that. But I'm glad Jamie is better, because we love Jamie Foxx. Like, us as black people, we love us some Jamie Foxx. And he's back on TV. I think he's doing what's the lyric show, the music show. I don't really watch it, but I know he's back on there. And then he has a bourbon. He's back doing bourbon. And then he has a really nice glasses line at America's Best, which is super expensive. I wanted a pair from the line, but it's like $500. I'm like, Jamie, I love you, but baby, you too expensive. You is too expensive. But I'm glad Jamie is back, so he could get back to doing what, you know, he do. We love Jamie. I love him. I grew up watching the Jamie Foxx show. Let me adjust my mic here. I grew up watching the Jamie Foxx show. I grew up watching the Jamie Foxx movies, so I'm just glad that he's okay and that he's still here and here to work and stuff. So Netflix news. So Netflix honestly has really been in their bag lately. Like, I have Netflix at my house, but I don't really watch it like that, because, you know, I just hear out, like, you know, Netflix is a joke, the YouTube channel. They would run down about what's coming out for the month, you know, any, like, stand-up comedies, any documentaries, movies, all that stuff. So I will watch that and then, you know, kind of flip through the coming soon tab. And for the past couple months, like June and May, nothing didn't really look interesting. But then July really, really, really killed it. So first thing I saw was the Beverly Hills Cop Axel Foley movie, which was really, really good. I love the Beverly Hills Cop movies. Well, let me say, I love Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2. I didn't really like 3. Because one of my favorite characters died in it, the Chief. I love the Chief because he makes me laugh so hard. So he died in that movie, and I was just like, okay, this is not good. And I would never watch 3. Like, I would act like 3 is not there. I'll pay attention to 1 and 2, but 3's just not there. But then they came out with Axel Foley, Beverly Hills Cop Axel Foley. And one thing I really, really liked is that they brought the modern things. Like, when I first heard that Axel Foley was going to get a movie, I always thought that, you know, Axel's probably going to be stuck in the 80s or in the 90s, because 3 came out in like 94, a year before I was born. But it was going to be stuck in the 80s and 90s. But no, like Axel Foley made a joke about Spirit Airlines, because everybody hates Spirit Airlines. He like sang a song to Family Affair by Mary J. Blige. You know, like I was just so surprised that he was, you know, referencing pop culture events and all that stuff. He knew who Mary J. Blige was. That too. So I was very, very, very relieved about that. And then also, I was sitting here figuring out Paige's age, because, you know, 3 came out in 94. I was born the next year. I'm 29. So Paige, who played his daughter, she was a lawyer. She had to have been like the same age as me. And that means Axel would have had to got married after 3, like in that world. So yeah, I was like, okay, so yeah. And I didn't know Axel Foley was married. He just didn't seem like the marrying type, in my opinion. But it was still a good movie. It showed modern day LA. Now, I went to LA last year, and I went to 2 parts of LA. I went to the nice part of LA, and then I went to the kind of sort of sad part of LA. And the kind of sort of sad part is not Beverly Hills, Hollywood, and Santa Monica, the happier places. But then they did show like Beverly Hills. I did go to Beverly Hills to the Mr. Brainwash Museum, and it looked like how it looked when I was there. So, do I think they should come out with another like Axel Foley movie? I don't think so, because what is the next story to tell? Like, what else could Axel Foley get himself into for him to have another movie? And then in the movie, and as well as real life, Eddie Murphy is 60 years old, so he can't be doing those crazy stunts anymore and stuff. So I think that this is a great movie to close it out for the older generation who watched Beverly Hills Cop 1, 2, and 3. And then, of course, my generation, or my age and younger, to experience Axel Foley and see how funny he is too. Like, Axel Foley is like really funny, of course, because Eddie Murphy is really funny. Another show on Netflix is Owning Manhattan. So it's hosted, starring Ryan Serhant. Now, I don't like $1 Million Listing New York. I try to watch it. It's just New York is a nice city. I've never been, but it looks nice. Even though it is dirty, it looks nice. I never could really get into New York reality shows. I couldn't even get into Love and Hip Hop New York when I was younger. So when I watched Owning Manhattan, it kind of opened my eyes to like a different approach of how the New York real estate market is. Characters on there were interesting. There was some drama on there. So it was kind of in the same world as Selling Sunset, and also Buying Beverly Hills, which those 2 shows I really do like more because they're set in California, and I love going to California. But I think that they are going to get a second season because the way they closed out the first season. Spoiler alert, if you've never seen this show, it's on Netflix. It's not hard to go pull it up. But the way they ended the season was that they had a big party celebrating the real estate brokerage. And then Ryan gets a call. There's a condo for sale. Ryan leaves his own party to go to that condo. And you know what that condo was? It's the fucking condo from Succession. I think it was the... I haven't seen Succession in a long time, so forgive me. I forget names. It's the oldest son's... Not Alan Rux, but the son under him. Yeah, so it's his condo that he had in the show Succession. It was huge, got like 2 levels, all that stuff. So, spoiler alert, the condo did end up selling. I don't know how much, and I don't know who sold it. So they're probably going to expose that on the next season, if there is one. But that is a good show. I give it a 10 out of 10. Let's see what else. Also, I just watched this documentary like 2 nights ago. It's the Lou Pearlman documentary. Now that was a good documentary in my opinion. It was good. It had like AJ McLean. It had the other singers from the other groups, lesser known groups. But even though it was good, it was still I think they were repeating everything they were talking about in the So there was a documentary on YouTube. It used to be on YouTube Originals, and you had to like have YouTube Platinum or something to watch it. But I guess their YouTube channel made it public for everybody to see, and I've watched it. Basically, it was repeating everything that was said in that YouTube documentary with Lance Bass and AJ McLean and all that. But the only difference was that when Lou Pearlman was out on the run, going to like Bali and stuff, his business partner and friend was with him, so he was on the Netflix documentary saying what happened, like how he had to pay for everything when they were not on the run, but you know, while they were traveling, and you know how Lou Pearlman was exposed, and they found him and they arrested him in another country, and people had voicemails from Lou when he was in prison, just all that stuff. That's probably the only main difference. But it was still good. It's 3 episodes, actually. Whereas with the documentary on YouTube, it's just one documentary. The documentary on YouTube actually had Aaron Carter on it. So I think that documentary was done like maybe a couple years before he passed away. In the documentary with Netflix, he was mentioned, but there was no like archive footage of him talking about Lou and all that stuff. And you know what? If there's any Aaron Carter fans, hold on, I gotta take a drink. If you're an Aaron Carter fan and you remember this song, it came out in like 2006. So this was around the House of Carter's time. He had a song called Saturday Night. There was a video on it. Basically, he was in a big bus and he would pick up people who were at their miserable ass jobs and all that stuff, and they'd go party at this club at the end of the video. I didn't realize that the driver of the bus was Lou Pearlman. And this was around 2005, 2006. So this is when everything was about to hit the fan. I was like, damn, wow, they were really close. Like, Aaron did go on the documentary and say that, you know, he was a good man and all that stuff. I didn't realize that they were that close. For him to be on his video. And I could be wrong. And somebody let me know. The plane in that video said Transcontinental, which is Lou Pearlman's plane company. I think it did say that too. I didn't put 2 and 2 together till I saw the documentary, the first one, on YouTube. And this was way before this one came out on Netflix. And I looked and I was like, is that Lou Pearlman? What the? Lou Pearlman, who stole all that money from NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and all that? Wow. And he had him in his video. Wow. So yeah, that was in their bag, and I see why they be like increasing their prices and stuff, because you got to make really good product and content for Netflix, and good content and good product kind of cost. So you got to pay to get good content and product, I guess. The Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar video, it did officially drop. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. So I haven't really been watching videos. I come from that era of going, like, you had to be up for school at like 6 a.m. and you're waiting on the bus stop or you're waiting on your ride to school. What is on the TV? My mother's from that generation, the news, but we don't want to watch the news. We want to watch music videos. So MTV used to play videos at like 6, 7 in the morning for the kids who go into school or whatever. After that era wrapped up, it's like I never really watched videos, and then whenever I did watch a video, I had to have really, 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 really liked that artist for me to like hold my attention to watch a music video. If this video really did hold my attention, I love the song. Like, the song has hit my top 40 on my Apple Music. So if you guys don't know, if you have Apple Music, they have a 24, 23, 22, like the most songs you listen to in that year. Now, it's only July, and I put that song on my Apple. I just got my Apple Music back. Let's just start with there. I got my Apple Music back this month, And then I put Not Like Us on there as soon as I got my Apple Music back. Y'all, it's on my top of 2024 already, and that was like 2 weeks ago. I love that song. So the video came out. Basically, it was filmed all over LA, at Tams, at, this big scene where a lot of people were there in the parking lot singing They Not Like Us, and he had his wife and his children in the video, which was it was a beautiful family, by the way. And I just enjoyed every minute of it. I just didn't understand, I keep looking at the number, though, because it pops up on my algorithm on YouTube every day. It's still, in the 70... Last time I checked, it was in the 70 millions, which was, last week. So I really do hope that video really does reach 1 billion, views by the end of this year. That video has, 5 months until Christmas. I really want that video to be one of the biggest videos of all time on YouTube. And I love that song. That song is just... It goes quadruple platinum. I don't care, if that doesn't exist. It's a diss track, but it's also, a catchy-ass track you can dance to. I love that song. So, yeah, it came out. I watched it a couple times, actually, so that's how I know the video looks good. It held my attention. Because music videos just don't do that for me anymore. When I was a kid, I'm from the era of the box. And then I remember the box turning into MTV2. And then they played videos every once in a while. But then they played, uberly hip-hop stuff like MTV Cribs and Pimp My Ride and all that stuff. Basically reruns from MTV to MTV2. So, I just, I can't wait for the album to come out. I can't wait. Because Kendrick always put out good stuff. So, that video, good stuff. Good stuff. Good job, Kendrick. And anybody talk to Drake? Because he's been mighty quiet since that video came out. Oh, we'll pray for brother Drake. Because he's been really quiet. I haven't seen him out nowhere. I don't really pay attention to social media, so. Here's a story that kind of bothers me. It's not a celebrity story, and I don't own my own home yet, so you can think I may or may not have anything to do with this. I'm from the south suburbs of Chicago, right? The south suburbs of Chicago, majority of it is majority black, and not a majority, but some parts are low income. Some parts are actual working class, and some parts are wealthy and, upper class. So it's been recently revealed that some Chicago South suburbs, the homeowners, have received their tax bill, and the tax bill is very unaffordable to a lot of people. And I just look at the bill, and I look at people's bills, they say I'm paying this amount, this amount, this amount, and I look around, and I could be wrong, and please somebody correct me with this. Isn't the property taxes you pay supposed to go towards the community? So I'm from a predominantly black town in the south suburbs. From my experience growing up, the schools I went to around here were not that good. I went to a school where we had old ass textbooks. Some of them were falling apart. Most of the school's population was black. Businesses didn't really last around here. Still don't. It just depends on what business you have. I've seen a barbecue spot, hole in the wall, like a seafood crab place. I've seen them, those type of businesses come and go. But there are also businesses that have been so popular in the community for years, like this place called Crystal's Chicken. Best fried chicken. I don't really eat there because it's not good for me, but their food is so good, and they've been standing since I was a kid. I don't understand that. We don't have a Target in the town I grew up in. I have to go I have to travel out to a different town to go to Target. We have 2 grocery stores, if you count Sam's Club. But not a lot of people are Sam's Club members. So, yeah, like, majority of the south suburbs is black and low income. I've seen people's bills go from $2,000 to $10,000 or $2,000 to $5,000, and that's just the first installment, because in Cook County you have to pay 2 installments, and the $2,000 to $5,000 is in 1 installment. So my question is, how the heck are these people? And some of these people are on fixed income. How the hell are they supposed to pay that bill? I don't understand why they would do this to a predominantly black, low-income area, and it scares me. It really scares me. That's why I always fight to get the hell out of the south suburb. I made this decision years ago. I don't have children. But I made this decision years ago when I was 21, 22, that if I did have children, I wouldn't raise them here in this town I grew up in. Because of the torment I went through. Because of the lack of resources I had. You know, like, I go to different suburbs, and they have, like, these really nice events. People show up in the community. Now, the town I lived in did have nice events, but nobody would show up. Like, literally nobody would show up. And there's no community here, and, you know, there's crime and all that stuff. So I don't understand why they would do that to low income and predominantly black. I don't understand. I don't understand. And then people move over the border. Indiana border is like 10 minutes away. They move over there, but now that people are going over there in droves, it's making Indiana expensive too. I'm not understanding this economy. You don't have to really be from my town or anything, but if anybody just knows why this is going on, where that money is going, like, my area, like, we have a mall, and it's a dead mall, it's dead space, but my mom always told me, if they close that mall down, you think those taxes will be high now? It'll be higher if they close the mall down. But then there's always, we were in the running to get a casino built here. I thought that was a bad idea because the crime here is just terrible. And where the hell are they going to put it? So they decided to put that casino in Homewood, Illinois. Now, Homewood, Illinois is a really, really, really cute town. A lot of senior citizens live there. A lot of mixed population, white families, black families, Latino families. The school district over there is amazing. So they built that casino over there. Now they're talking about building like a mixed campus. Like, it could be housing, restaurants, all that stuff. And I've seen that in different communities, like in Wheeling. They do have like a really nice condo building situation. Downstairs is the movie theater and all that stuff. But Wheeling, Illinois is not like the town I live in. It's not that bad. But my town is bad because, you know, there's people coming in from the city. Back in like 2000, the high-rise projects, they were being torn down. And my theory was that where these people who lived in those projects want to go, that's affordable. And the south suburbs at the time was affordable, so they moved out here in droves. So I just don't understand. I don't pay taxes. I don't pay property taxes. But I just want to, why? Like, why? In a predominantly low income, and it's fact, it's put on the internet that this area is low income, and why would you raise the taxes that high? I just don't understand. So let's switch back. And I think that was kind of deep and kind of all over the place because I'm not a homeowner, so I don't understand. But let's go back to Kanye West is in the news. One, he's retiring from music. I think it is time for Kanye to hang it up. He's done so much. Put out great albums. Even the last few that weren't that good and he quote-unquote found Jesus, I think it is time for him to hang it up. But at the same time, Kanye West is cheating on his wife. Rumor has it, allegedly. He was DMing a model behind her back. That's why I can't take Kanye seriously when he said he found God, because isn't cheating very much against what goes on in the Bible? Kanye. And then his wife is walking around here naked, and she be wearing sheer stuff, and we can see like her areolas and nipples, and I'm like, but there's children around here. Like, why does she dress like that? But I know, like, Kim, I read a story somewhere that Kim told Bianca don't dress like that around her kids. I think Kim should kind of sort of be a friend and say, don't dress like that at all, because it's very tacky and weird. And then she was dressed like that at Disneyland. How did they not get kicked out of Disneyland? Because Disneyland is the strictest, most... I mean, I'm glad Disneyland is strict, because, yo, I went to Disneyland and I felt so safe there. Honestly, they're so strict. But Bianca walking around half naked at Disneyland and at resorts in California, it's just so weird to me, and I'm not a fan. I want to know what's the ideology behind all that. Like, why is she exposing herself like that? Her bottoms be tight that you can see her, you know. I'm like, girl, really? Like, come on. Like, here's the theory I have. Maybe Kanye wanted Kim to dress like that, and Kim had enough and left. I think that's what probably happened. Because there's no way No way. No way. And if I was married to a man who made me dress like that, I would file for divorce immediately. Especially how strict communities in America are about decent exposure. And you leave the house looking like that, girl. No. Absolutely not. So, we'll see how this plays out with Bianca and Kanye, because it's starting to become a real shit show, honestly. It's becoming a real shit show. Let's see. Diddy is selling his house. I would sell my house too if it was rated. And I never really liked the house anyway. From what I understand, Diddy's house is kind of in the flats. Like, it's not in the hills, it's on the flat part. I don't know, maybe because I never lived on a hill before. I always thought Diddy was like a Hollywood Hills type guy. And I'm not, supporting him anyway. I just always thought he was a Hollywood Hills type guy. He had a house there. But obviously, a few months ago, that house was raided. So, of course, when your house is raided, you don't want to live there anymore. So, he's trying to sell it off. But I hope his mother is alright. She was rushed to the hospital a little bit after... Well, not a little bit after. She was rushed to the hospital like a couple of weeks ago. I guess the stress got to her, what's going on with her son. I mean, if you are having a family emergency where your grandkids are kind of separated from their dad, graduating high school, the dad can't be there, and the family's kind of torn apart. You got you and your son in Florida, but the kids are in California somewhere. And of course, that would break the grandmother's heart, obviously. So... But I hope she's alright, though. She is 81 years old. She looks really good to be 81. But, when your son is in deep shit, in the deep shit he's in, that kind of takes a toll on you. But I send my thoughts to Miss Janice. I hope the house really do sell. I never really liked the house. And then it's a big house, but it gives, Desperate Housewives. I forgot the name of the block they lived on, but that's what the house always gave me. So, yeah. The Braxtons has a new show. They did preview it on YouTube. Will I be watching? I'll watch the first episode and then we'll take it from there. Because when I was watching the Braxtons before, when they had Tracy on there and they were all beefing and all that stuff, I don't like when we have reality shows and it shows the goodness of the family and then all of a sudden things fall apart, and that's the worst thing to watch. And then it got canceled. Things fell apart, it got canceled, and Tamar had her show and then that fell apart because she was in a fucked up relationship and then she attempted suicide, all that stuff. I just think that if this show doesn't work out, the Braxtons should leave reality TV alone, because what the the Braxton Family Values did, it was on from the time I was in high school to the time, so I was like 27, 26. That's enough time to give them exposure and for them to have a platform and for them to have opportunities off that platform, in my opinion. Like, for example, I'll use some of the cast members of Love and Hip Hop. It does not matter the city. Love and Hip Hop has been on for years, and I turn around. I don't have to watch Love and Hip Hop to see that some of these people are on other TV shows, in movies. It doesn't matter if it's a regular movie on cable or Tubi movie. They have opportunities because of that platform that they had from a reality show that was years ago. I would check out the first episode. Now I'm learning how to like try one part, and if I like it, I'll keep going. But if I don't, I'll just like stop. So I'll watch the first episode to see how it goes. I don't know. Like, and then I see Tamar on there, and then didn't Tamar have like some sort of beef with WeTV? But then I also heard that her mother had to beg her to kind of go on the show, and I don't want to talk bad about anyone, but it's like if your child's not comfortable with something, you don't have to beg them to do something. It's not. But I'll see the dynamic, see if everything is cool, everything's copacetic about the show. Let's see. Will Smith. Will Smith's in the news. I love Will Smith. Will Smith is releasing new music. He is asking to be kind of back in the academy. To kind of put the 10-year ban behind them. And also, do y'all think he's going on tour? So let's break this down. Will Smith's putting out new music. Let's not forget that Will Smith is a rapper first, okay? Will Smith has been putting out music since the 80s. But movies kind of took over, and then he did kind of disappear after the infamous slap on Chris Rock. I think Will Smith needed like a creative outlet. So a creative outlet went to this new single. And I think this single is a sign that he could be creating a new album. Now, I don't mind the whole inspirational, mellow, this new tone for Will Smith, but all I know is like if he puts out a new album, he needs some fun tracks on that album. Let's not forget about Born to Rain. I love Born to Rain. Born to Rain came out in 2002. Lost and Found came out in 2006. I love Lost and Found. I still play that album to this day. Yes, Will Smith had a song called Nice Guy. He talked about his frustrations on that song. But also he had fun tracks like Pump Your Brakes with Snoop Dogg. If you can't dance, then this is your jam, baby. Left to the right. He had that song with Nicole Short, whatever her name is, from the Pussycat Dolls. So if he does put out a new album, he can have that tone, but you just need some fun records like you had on Lost and Found. And if he does go on tour, obviously I do want to go. Now that I have the money to go to concerts. And which sucks because Missy Elliott and Timbaland, they're on tour right now. I don't know when they're coming to Chicago because my cousin, she lives in Florida. She went to go see them like a few days ago. So they're probably coming to Chicago soon. Because if they're in Florida, they're coming. I don't know. So I can't go to that one. But if Will Smith comes to town, I'm definitely going. I'm definitely going. I've been a Will Smith fan since I was 3 years old. I'm almost 30, so. And the lift from the band from the Academy, I think they should just go ahead and do it because nobody's really talking about that fucking slap anymore. Like, Chris Rock isn't even talking about that slap anymore, so let him back in the Academy, okay? Just let him back in the Academy. Alright, y'all, so we are at the political part of the show. So, I'm looking at my notebook. I'm trying to make sure I cover everything I wanted to cover on the politics side. Because I don't want to miss anything. Because I don't want nobody, being like, oh, you didn't talk about this, we didn't talk about that. Alright, so let's start how the shit show started. So the first thing that happened Donald Trump got shot at a rally, right? So I was away from my phone, and then I opened Instagram, and I was like, Donald Trump shot. I'm like, what the fuck? What? Wait, what? I'm going on TMZ. I'm going on all the, I'm just going on everything trying to get information. I saw the video. Some people, well, I guess I don't want to say some people are, I heard that, it was some glass that hit him. He got shot in the air, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh my God, y'all are getting bold. Y'all are getting bold to shoot at a presidential candidate. Basically, it was from a sniper who was on a roof. Secret Service didn't really do their due diligence, apparently. The shooter died. He was killed by Secret Service. I think that's what happened. But just know he's no longer here. So then that happened. Got shot in the ear, allegedly. Like, okay. That happened. So then we have the RNC. And the people I did not expect to see at that RNC shot the shit out of me. One, Amber Rose. Why the hell was Amber Rose there? Amber Rose, when I was a teenager, Amber Rose was that woman. She is openly bisexual. She has slut walks for women's rights. She had a baby by Wiz Khalifa, the biggest pothead in all of the music industry. She is biracial. Somebody is Cape Verdean and somebody is white. Why is she at the RNC knowing that Donald Trump's fan club, no, not the Republicans, the fan club, because they act more like a fan club than Republicans, knowing that Donald Trump's fan club don't like women of her kind. And what do I mean by that? They don't like gays and bisexuals. They don't like black people. They don't like the fact that people are liberal and pro-women's rights. They just don't like that stuff. So why is she there? Because the only person I challenged was my father. Your father is a white man. Obviously. Okay? I was just so disappointed in Amber Rose because at one point I was pushing for Amber Rose. I was pushing for the slut walks for women's rights. She is an openly bisexual woman. She could have married a woman. We would not have cared. But no, she wants to be at the RNC. Okay, Amber Rose is canceled. Forget her. On not TikTok. Instagram stories dressed in Trump attire. No. This is not the direction we want to go. Alright, Amber Rose, canceled in my book. The next person, Savannah Chrisley. I was a fan of the Chrisley show. I loved her podcast. I was all for her trying to get her parents out of jail. Then she shows up at the RNC. Why? I don't understand. She has a biracial niece, a black and white niece, and you brought her around Donald Trump. Donald Trump don't like black people, and he has made that clear time and time again during his presidency, as well as during his I don't want to say promo tour, he's not a rapper, but during his presidential tours, Vote for Me's, whatever it's called. I was so disappointed. I was going to give Savannah Chrisley a chance with her podcast. I was going to refollow her. But I saw her at the RNC blaming the Democrats for her parents getting locked up. It is not even a politician's fault, Savannah. It's under the politician's fault. Now, I heard that there is some fraudulent stuff going on with the judges and the IRS and all that stuff. That's who you should be mad at. The Democrats are up here. You have to be mad at the people down here. Girl, no. Oh my God. And now, I go on TikTok. I spend a lot of time on TikTok. That's my problem. I spend a lot of time on TikTok, right? And I'm scrolling down and I'm seeing these women doing these stupid TikTok dances from the pandemic saying, raise your hand if you're voting for Trump. And some of these women are black. Some of these women are Hispanic. Some of these women are white with children. Y'all don't think this one through, do you? Like, y'all, I can't believe people can be so dumb and don't pay attention to what the hell is going on. Now, we have this thing called Project 2025, basically setting us back hundreds of years. They're going to strip, I have some examples, they're going to strip LGBTQA rights. They're trying to, they're not going to recognize a 2-mom or 2-dad family as a nuclear family. No, it has to be mom, dad, brothers, 2 kids, 2, 3, 4 kids. What else? They, just a bunch of stuff. Now, a bunch of stuff I don't believe should be revoked, in my opinion. So, we're like, those days we were on eggshells. And then Trump picks this dumbass for his running mate, J.D. Vance. Well, I don't know. Like, I guess he fucks couches or something, because I've been on TikTok, and there's this joke between J.D. Vance and couches. I don't understand that. But he's terrible because he's now going on, I guess he went on TV years ago saying, well, we're going to basically track women's periods with like a period passport. And that just made no fucking sense, because what if the woman has endometriosis? What if she has these issues where she's getting an irregular period? First of all, why do you care when blood comes out of a woman's vagina? You're a man. You shouldn't care. And then, not only that, your wife, I think his wife is a person of color. And he's doing all this BS. I never understood that. And then the childless cat lady, well, we'll get into that, because that was during when big news came out. So, yeah, that came out. So we're scared, we're on eggs. Then Joe Biden goes on TV and says, yeah, I have to drop out of the race because of health issues. Y'all, we was scared for like 2 minutes, and guess who stepped up? Kamala Harris. And I said, I know that's right. And he endorsed her, too. And I endorsed Kamala Harris, too, because I'm all for it. And she was considering J.B. Pritzker to be her vice president. I'm like, wait, no. I think Illinois, we need J.B. Pritzker right now. So you're going to have to pick someone else. Sorry. We need J.B. here in Springfield, please. But I'm all for Kamala Harris. And then just the stupidity came out. More stupidity on TikTok. I just look at people like, I can't believe you be so dumb. I just can't believe you be so dumb. Like, I am voting to save our democracy. I have LGBTQA plus family members and friends who I want them to have their best life. I think I heard that, I could be wrong, but I did hear somewhere that they're going to ban interracial marriage. My partner is white, and I'm a black woman, and he's obsessed with me, I'm obsessed with him. But, I feel like I found my person finally, and I would really love to marry him. So you can't take that away from me. You will not take that away from me, okay? Because I have these wedding plans that are so big. So you're not going to take them away from me, all right? But yeah, they're just taking away these small, like, just these things that we deserve to have. And then people are backing stupidity. And I just, I'm not worried. I really do hope Kamala wins, because the way that I've seen her in action, the things she talks about and all that stuff, I think she is for the people. She is for saving democracy and not Trump. So, yeah. I do send my deepest and dearest apologies. I needed a break. Because talking about politics is like, it takes a lot out of you. I'm not CNN, I'm not MSNBC, I'm not Wolf Blitzer, I'm not none of that. Honestly, I don't have a position to talk about politics, but I look and see what's going on and what people post on the internet. It's like, it's not that hard. But some people are brainwashed. Like, if you want to save democracy, you know who to vote for. You know how to make the right choice, in my opinion. So that was just the front porch version of what the hell was going on. Y'all could watch CNN, read newspapers, read blogs all day. I don't want to repeat what was said, or I probably already covered it in agitation. But y'all, we got to do right at the polls in November.
That's all I'm going to say. And I can't say I trust y'all to go make the right decisions because, you know, there's always those bad grapes in the bunch, in my opinion. But I'm going to move on from politics. I have a few more stories and then I'm going to wrap up. One of them is Andre Montgomery. If you guys don't remember, he is Robbie Montgomery's son from the Sweetie Pie show, Sweetie Pie's restaurant in St. Louis. He was basically sentenced to life in jail because he was involved in the hit for hire murder of his nephew Andre. So yeah, I guess he appealed it. He was sentenced to life. He appealed it, denied, because obviously the evidence is there that he was heavily involved in all of this. So not surprising. May Andre continue to rest in peace, and may the Lord cover that family. That was just a crazy story. You would kill your nephew over an insurance policy, and y'all were on TV and opening all these restaurants. So what was the point of all that? But yeah, rest in peace, Andre, and prayers to his family. But he got what he deserved. He's where he needs to be. Rest in peace to Richard Simmons. In the 80s, I think Richard Simmons was before my time. I remember seeing Richard Simmons on TV a couple times. But he is basically a fitness guru. He runs around in like these little shorts and tank top. He was just heavily into fitness. But he was really reclusive the past few years of his life. Not sure why. Maybe he didn't like the fame anymore or anything. But he did pass away. I hear that he had a fall in his house. So I guess it could have been connected to that. It has not really been explained or revealed what exactly killed him, but rest in peace to Richard Simmons. Shannon Doherty, if you guys don't remember Shannon Doherty, she was the sister from Charmed, and she was also in Beverly Hills 90210, and in other movies as well. I wasn't really too familiar with Shannon Doherty until like when I was grown. She was Prue in Charmed. I didn't really watch Charmed like that growing up. Nothing against it, I just didn't watch it. But I feel like I kind of got to know her more through listening to her podcast, how she had a wonderful relationship with her first husband, and she was a stepmom to her stepdaughter, and I listened to that podcast. It was really nice to hear. She had breast cancer. It spread it. I think it was stage 4. It kind of spread it all over her body. It's such a horrible disease, but she was a fighter throughout it all. I think she was battling it for like years, like probably years. I don't want to say an exact number, and I could be wrong. Probably like almost 10 years. I heard her first diagnosis was like 2015, but she had it for years, and she was fighting through it. But she passed away probably like a couple weeks ago. Rest in peace to Bob Newhart, who is a comedian. I know Bob Newhart as Don Rickles' best friend, and I would watch old Don Rickles interviews, and he would just talk so highly of Bob Newhart and how their wives would go on vacation together. So may he rest in peace. Joe Bryant, if that name does not sound familiar to you, it's because he is the father to Kobe Bryant. He passed away at the age of 69. It has not been revealed what he passed away from. Vanessa Bryant, she put out a quick statement. It was a quick statement basically saying, wish we had more time, and how he was always nice to her. I mean, I guess that made people go up in arms about it, but at least she made a statement. It was really nice and nothing dramatic filled. So rest in peace, Mr. Bryant. In the car industry news, the Nissan Altima is being retired, which shocks the shit out of me, because I honestly think that the Nissan Altima is the last, reliable car that Nissan has ever made. So I used to work for Nissan, but I didn't work for Nissan until, the 2010s, right? Well, not the 2010s. I worked in Nissan, the early 2020s. And I would see people come in left and right with mechanical issues, all that stuff. So I guess I can go back and say the 90s version of the Nissan Altimas were very reliable. No lie. My grandmother had a 1999 Nissan Altima. She bought it off the car dealer lot in 1999. So that car she's had, 1999, I was 4, right? The car didn't officially die until I was like 24. And she didn't get rid of it until I was like 27. Okay. So yeah, she bought the car in 1999. It died when I was 20. Well, it was starting to meet its end when I was 24. My grandmother, she didn't live far from her job, so it was a commute car to her. Then she retired like 6 years after she got the car. So it was kind of a commute car. She went to church, and then before she moved to the suburbs, she would come see us. We lived in the suburbs. And then once she moved to the suburbs, it was kind of a more commute car, but she didn't go far. So that car probably did not have a lot of miles on it. So then she had it for years and years and years. So probably the late 2010s hit, right? She drives the car. The car is 20 years old. It's probably had some issues here and there. Then all of a sudden, something in the bottom fell out. I think it was like a muffler or something, but the car basically broke down later that night. And I mean, we were not mad. It served its purpose like 20 years. I mean, I don't know. Those cars in the 90s, they really do last a long time. A couple years after that incident happened, the car officially died. It sat in my grandmother's garage for 2 years until she bought another car and she had to have that car towed out. I still do actually see those cars on the road. I don't know how, and I don't know how many miles could be on those cars. But the 1999 Nissan Altima is the best Altima ever. And you know what's crazy? One of the features that kind of like scared the shit out of me was like when you put in a CD, the antenna for the radio goes down and it makes a loud ass noise. And I'm like, what the fuck, for what? I guess it's because if you're not using the radio, the antenna will go like down and like get out of sight. But it was a cool ass car. My grandmother's car actually saw like student drivers, me, my brother, and our cousin. First time I drove that car, I was like 14. And I remember my grandmother tried to teach me how to drive. I'm 14. I'm just getting into high school. Like, I should not be worried about that until like another 2 years. So she put me behind the wheel. I was scared. I just jumped out the car and I didn't even put the car in park. I can't do that shit now with the car I have now because that sounds like an expensive mistake. But yeah, like it survived a lot. Trips to Mississippi, I remember my grandmother taking us to Woodfield Mall, which was awesome. It wasn't far from her, but if I were to drive from my house, it'd be a trip. But yeah, I can't believe that car is like officially retiring, and I don't understand why are we retiring cars now. First the Malibu, now the Altima. I guess we're making room for like new models of cars, which right now in this economy is not a good idea to purchase right now. But to each his own. People want the new shit. People prefer the old shit. So, good luck, Nissan. I can't wait to see what the next car is going to be like. I'm not going to buy a Nissan, because I can't trust it. Nelly and Ashanti are expected to have a reality show, which I am all here for. You would think Nelly as a rapper, if you get a reality show, it'd be a bunch of rah-rah. But no, if you guys remember, Nellyville that came on BET, it was a really nice and positive show. It showed a family, a black family, no fighting, none of that stuff. Maybe some troublemaking here and there, but no fighting, no drama, none of that. So I think Nelly and Ashanti having a reality show, I'm all here for it. Did anybody see DJ Quick on Drink Champs looking all good? Yeah, DJ Quick was on Drink Champs with Jason Martin. They have a new album out called Chupacabra. I haven't really listened to the new album all the way yet. I have some songs on my Apple Music. But they sound really good. I am a fan of both of them, but I'm just so proud of him. And then one thing Jason said that really shocked me was like, I pulled Quick out of retirement. I was like, when did Quick go into retirement? Because this is all news to me. You would think as a DJ Quick fan, the biggest DJ Quick fan y'all would know, I would know about his retirement. So this retirement talk was just new to me. So yeah, but I'm very proud of him. I love the songs I've heard from Chupacabra. I just hope that DJ Quick keeps making music, but it's like, I know one day he's gonna have to retire. Just, you can't retire right now. I just need music from you. And, let's see, because I want to talk about Divorce in the Black really quickly. Now, I didn't do, like, a review for it. because I kind of watched it after everyone else did, and I heard everyone else's reviews. It was a good movie. Tyler Perry, I am a big Tyler Perry supporter. Corey Hardig really did his thing in that movie. It's crazy because Corey reminds me so much of my older brother Ronnie. Both from Chicago, both probably went to the same high school, but I think Ronnie could be older than Corey, because Corey's like in his mid-40s. My brother Ronnie, he's looking at 50. But yeah, he just reminds me, his swag just reminds me so much of my brother. But he did a really good job in the film, to a point where I have to remind myself that Corey is the nicest guy in the world. I never met him, but seeing what I've seen on TikTok, he's really respectful to everyone, really nice, not over the top. So I always gotta remind myself of that. But it's a really good movie. People were saying it's crazy. The first few minutes is crazy. To me, it was like only one crazy moment, but I didn't like really gasp to it. But it was still a good movie. Still a great watch. It is on Amazon Prime. So if you have Prime, check it out. It is included in your subscription. They are revamping Martin, and honestly, I'm not here for it. I don't like the revamps of these 90s comedy shows. I think we should leave them alone as they are. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the Bel-Air show, I have not really seen, and I don't have any intent to, because I want to look at Fresh Prince of Bel-Air as a hilarious show. Will Smith making me laugh. I don't want anything serious. So that's the same way they're going with Martin. I don't want Martin to ever be serious. There was like very little serious scenes in Martin, and that's the way it should be. Just saying. So I don't know how this will go. I don't know what network it will go to, but we'll see how this goes. Even though I really don't want it to happen, but it is what it is. NBA on TNT drama. So basically, NBA is leaving TNT and they're going to Amazon Prime, which is not surprising to me because Amazon has everything. They're airing football games on there, NFL games. I think they're doing college basketball games on there too. So I think that's where everyone is going, because you have to understand, cable TV is just, it's getting out of here. And I was scared for it at first because I studied radio TV. I wanted to be a TV creator. But life takes different turns, so I have no interest in that anymore. But it was, when I was interested in having a career in that field, it was scaring me because like, oh man, less people are watching TV. How are we going to do this? How am I ever going to write a TV show? But little did we know that streaming really stepped up to the plate. We have HBO Max, we have Netflix, we have Hulu, we have all that stuff. But also I understand, if you don't have cable, you could watch basketball on, you could have watched basketball on Max. But, sometimes, older people want to watch the game. And then, NBA on TV, they were ending. Charles Barkley, he's getting ready to retire. I don't know what Shaq is doing. Kenny Anderson and... No, Kenny... Is that his name? Kenny... I don't want to call him Kenny Anderson. Kenny! I'll just call him Kenny. Kenny and Ernie and all of them. So, we don't know what they're going to do. But TNT, I heard, is suing... TNT is suing Amazon and all that stuff. It's just a big mess. So we'll see how that one goes. Finishes out. I really don't want them to leave TNT, NBA and TNT, because I don't really watch basketball like that anymore, but sometimes I'm at home and I watch on Max, NBA and TNT, and how funny that show is, how Shaq makes that show so funny. I just hope that never ends, because if you do Amazon, I just have a feeling they're going to get the most stiffest people ever, and it's not going to be as funny as NBA on TNT. That's just my opinion. Ben Affleck bought a house in Brentwood, and I just want to say that Josh Flagg talks too much. Josh Flagg is from $1 Million Listing LA, which has a new season out. It's only 3 people on there this season. It's Josh Altman, Josh Flagg, and Tracy Tudor. Everybody else left, so it's just those 3. It's kind of going a slow season, maybe because I'm still getting used to the three dynamic and they're actually friends and they all work together. So that probably won't be as much drama. Who knows? But Ben Affleck bought a house in Brentwood. So I guess I could throw away all my conspiracy theories for Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck just wanting to live in separate houses, still married, they're working stuff. Nah, they getting a divorce. Because the way that house looked, it's one story. It looks like a bachelor pad. I think it's over. And Jennifer's in New York, in the Hamptons, just whooping it up. And she had a birthday party, and he wasn't there. So that should tell you something. That should tell a lot. Lastly, Funny Marco versus Bobby Atloff. I like both of them. I'm a fan of both. I like Bobby's podcast, and I love Funny Marco. I was actually watching a Funny Marco video a couple of nights ago, and he was at the airport. He was in New York hanging out with JT from the City Girls. He was really nice to his fans. I do respect anybody who's really, really kind and take time out to really like interact with their fans and is not like a snoop to them. So I have respect for both of them. The reason why their tour that they were supposed to have got canceled is because Marco felt like Bobby was just a little too stiff or nervous for the tour. And I think what Bobby doesn't understand, or maybe she does, I don't know, but is that what you do on a camera for social media, or what you do for cameras in general, is way different than being in front of people and, you know, doing stand-up. Like, you have to like put practice and rehearse towards that, because I remember DC Young Fly, he basically had the same experience. So you would just have to keep pushing towards it. But I understand, like, when the tour was canceled, she was going through a lot. So I think they could have just had, like, I don't know, some sort of agreement or something. I don't know. But it's just the fact that, you know, it's not transitioning from social media comedy to real life stand-up comedy is hard. That's why a lot of people sit and wonder, like, oh, how did Eddie Martin and all them, they didn't have the internet when Eddie Murphy and Martin was going. They had to, you know, do it as this deemed the old school way. You have to practice makes perfect. You got to put your practice towards your craft, basically. But that is the end for me. I had to like do 2 takes of this because my blood pressure was high and I'm like struggling over my words right now. But I thank y'all again for listening. I'm going to wrap up this podcast episode, and then I'm going to start with the Bad Boys for Life review, and then hopefully everything will be dropped by tonight. So if you are on TikTok, you can follow me, Amanda MarTS1. If you are on Instagram, you can follow the official Thompson and Stuff official page. You can also follow me on my Instagram, adashmariesonofthom, THOM, and you can also follow Mandy in Graphics on Poshmark and Instagram. Thank y'all again for all of your support, and we will talk soon. Peace.